Hey everyone, Bill here. I've got a few Stadia updates for you. I want to start by referencing a video that I made yesterday. Yesterday, 9 to 5 Google had leaked that we were going to be getting Guilt and Metro Exodus as our Stadia Pro subscription games. These are the games that we get each month with our $10 a month, our optional subscription. And Guilt and Metro Exodus. If you want to know my thoughts on those two games being the particular games that we're getting at this point, make sure that you go back and watch that previous video. Now, what drives me crazy is that 9 to 5 Google, I think that, and I have no inside information here, but I think what happened is 9 to 5 Google was given this information ahead of time so that they could have their article ready, so that they could post it right away, because, you know, they're a pretty big website that covers Google. So it makes a lot of sense that they get some insider information. And what I'm guessing happened is that 9 to 5 Google jumped the gun and posted the story too early. My guess is by accident. That being said, accidents happen and it's not the end of the world. But Google should have responded to it. And for them to sit there for quite a long time and just say nothing about it is kind of crazy. It was posted to the subreddit. They have that's the official subreddit. And no response. Just before it was posted, I think Grace from Google had said, we don't have any new announcements to make today. And then, of course, this comes out. And because Google says nothing, people are sitting there thinking, well, is it fake or is it real? And they don't know what is going on. And I think, why would Google not respond to this? The only thing that I can think of is that it probably is somewhere in like the legalese between the publishers and Google that says, you're going to kill our sales if you mention this too soon. So don't mention it before this date. So then when it gets leaked, then Google, maybe their hands were tied and they just couldn't say anything about the fact that these are the games that we're getting with our Stadia Pro subscription. Anyway, that's beside the point. Let's move on. Guilt and Metro Exodus are now confirmed via the community.stadia.com blog. This was posted this morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time, that it is coming in February, and we will be able to unlock these things on February 1st at 9 a.m., I think. Anyway, it doesn't really matter exactly. It's, somewhere end of January, beginning of February. Let's move on. Let's talk about the other games that are currently available as Stadia Pro subscription games. And if you claim these games before they are no longer available, then they will remain yours to play as long as you are subscribed, even after they become unavailable. And that is so that if you subscribe after January 31st, you'll no longer be able to claim these games. You'll still be able to play them if you've already claimed them, though. I hope that that's clear. Let's talk about this. So when Stadia first launched, we got two, count them two, we got two games. And that was Destiny 2, the collection, and Samurai Showdown. Now, most people were playing a lot of Destiny 2, the collection. Very few people were playing Samurai Showdown. Not because it's a bad game, but I just think it's a game that appeals to a very, very narrow niche market. And a lot of those people weren't Stadia people. So that's why I think it probably didn't do so well. For me, I was uninterested in it. I tried it. I very quickly determined that it is not a game for me, but that's okay. Not every game has to be for me. Then the next month, we got Farming Simulator 19 Platinum Edition and Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. This is the 2013, I think, remake. This is when they first started remaking the Tomb Raider games. It's a fantastic game. It really is. And Farming Simulator 19, and by all accounts, is incredibly popular, and it's a really good port on Stadia. That being said, you're not seeing Tomb Raider Definitive Edition on this list because it is no longer available to be claimed. And that's where I want to bring this up, because the next games that we got were Tomb Raider 25-year celebration. That's Rise of the Tomb Raider. That's the sequel, the second in the new remake games, and Thumper. Now, Samurai Showdown and Rise of the Tomb Raider 25-year celebration, you need to claim those games before January 31st. So what you're going to want to do is open up your Stadia app. Once you've got your Stadia app open, you can go to the where is it here? The Stadia Pro games. All right, so you open up your Stadia app, and then you've got your Stadia Pro games right there. And once you're there, you can see if you've claimed these games yet or not by looking at a little green box there. If they don't have a little green box, then you have not claimed them, and you need to claim Rise of the Tomb Raider and Samurai Showdown before January 31st, because after that, you will not be able to claim those games anymore. In addition, there are some new Stadia Pro deals that are going on right now. We've got special savings for Pro subscribers from January 28th, that's today, until February 5th. So it's actually not very long that these games are going to be on sale. So you're going to have to make a decision pretty quickly. You can get 60% off Mortal Kombat 11, which I think that sounds like a really good deal, and selected content on Stadia, including Mortal Kombat 11 for $24. You can get the premium edition for $36, and you can get the combat pack for $16. So the combat pack is like DLC characters and stuff like that. Between January 28th and February 4th, you get 40% off Just Dance 2020 and 60% off Trials Rising. This includes $30 for Just Dance 2020, $10 for Trials Rising, or if you want to get the digital gold edition for Trials Rising, that is $16 US. I think that these are really good deals. Trials Rising, I've heard very, very good things about that from my community, which you can join the community over at runjumpstomp.com/Discord. I've heard very, very good things about that game. And for $16, I think, 60% off, that sounds fantastic. I may have to dip my toe into the Trials waters. If you don't know what Trials is, it is a dirt bike side-scrolling kind of stunt jump game, if that makes any sense. It looks like it's a lot of fun, and I remember playing the original Trials, I think it was the original Trials, on my Xbox 360 back in the day, and really, really enjoying that game. So getting this one for $16 sounds like a really good deal. And that digital gold edition, that comes with the DLC, which you can end up, it comes with I think 50 extra tracks or something like that. It's a really, really good, it's a very, very good deal in my opinion. Now, all that aside, I've got like two more things that I want to make sure that I talk about today. First off, Google also showed off the Stadia Save Point, which is like their monthly updates. So Stadia Save Point January updates, basically they told us a bunch of stuff that we already know. I mean, if you watch this show, then you already knew about all this stuff, I'm sure. But basically, they've got more achievements information when you're playing on desktop, laptop, and TV. That's good. Like my co-host Lloyd has been talking about bringing the UIs together to where they all match. I think that's a really good idea. They talked about their strategic collaboration with British Telecom, which if you look in the description down below, I will leave a link to a video where Lloyd and I talk about that. Same thing with Verizon. Lloyd and I did a video where we talked about the partnership with Verizon and Stadia. And then they talked about some new content coming to Stadia. Red Dead Online is bringing the Moonshiners update, and Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint is bringing in raids and the Terminator event. I don't know what that is because I don't play that game. I did pick up that game. I played it for a little bit. I determined it was not for me, and so I returned it. And then finally, Stadia Pro updates. They said the new games that we already talked about in the first part of this video, and then existing games that you're going to have to get. So we already covered all of that stuff. All right. One more thing, actually two more things that I want to cover very, very quickly. There's been there's been a few articles that I have seen, because a lot of people send me these articles and YouTube videos and stuff like that, and I don't always click on them because I don't have time. But somebody sent me this article, and I am not going to link to it. I am not going to tell you where it is. I am just going to summarize it very, very quickly. And the reason I'm not going to tell you where to find it or anything like that is because I would call this a non-article. I think that this is, I don't want to say the word journalism because I don't claim to be a journalist, and I don't know if these guys claim to be journalists, but this is really shoddy work, in my opinion. There's this article that basically says that that the people who are Stadia customers are not happy with the fact that we're getting Metro Exodus and Guilt as our games that we're getting this month, or not this month, but February. And this is not the only article that I've seen do this, but what they do is they go on to Reddit and they find a couple of Reddit posts that back their argument, and then they use those as kind of putting us all in one box. They're saying, look, we found a couple of Reddit posts that have said that they're not happy with this particular thing. And so now they say, okay, everybody who's on Stadia feels this way. And I don't think that that's a very good way to write an article. I mean, I could do exactly the same thing that they're doing, but completely opposite. I could go on the subreddit or Twitter or whatever, and I could find somebody that tweeted, Stadia is the future of gaming. Like, I could find that. And then I could write an article with a headline that says Stadia users, Stadia users say Google is the future of gaming. I could say that as my article and then link back to their Reddit posts as evidence that supports the hypothesis that I'm positing for my reader. And I just think that that's really shoddy and kind of lame. And it's not just this particular article. I've seen quite a few articles and some YouTube videos that have done that. And I would say that's just, you can do better. You can do better. Just because, look, there's a lot of search going on with Stadia. There's a lot of fire going on with Stadia right now. And so there's a lot of people out there that are trying to make sure that they have keyword rich articles because they know that they're going to get clicked on. And I just have to say, look, I totally understand. It's a business model. You're trying to make money. That's totally fine. Just do a better job is all I have to say about it. Anyway, let's move on. We've got one more thing that I want to point out, and that is the Unity update. Unity is a game engine, basically. It allows people to make games easier, if that makes sense. And Unity is a very, very popular one. It is used on, I would say, a majority of games out there these days are made using Unity. Well, Unity has been updated, and it says right here on their update, it says, are you interested in publishing your game on Stadia? We now offer support for everything that approved developers need to create and ship their first game on Google's new cloud gaming platform. Interested developers should start the process with the application for resources on Google Stadia's developer website. This is really, really good because right now, the games that we have on Stadia, whether they were written in Unity or not, they had to be ported using tools that were kind of hastily made. And the easier that it gets to port games to Stadia, the more games we're going to get. Like Google has said, they're on track for 120 games coming to Stadia this year that they know about, and 10 of those games are going to be 10 of those games will be exclusive games that are released in the first 6 months of this year. Of course, nothing new has come out this month, so probably in the next 5 months, I guess, is a better version of that sentence. But hey, with Unity updating, that's really, really good. All right, it says they offer support for everything that approved developers need to create and ship their first game on Google's new cloud gaming platform. That's awesome to hear. That means more games are going to come. We also have some details on GDC and the fact that Google has a lot to talk about at GDC. I would not expect very much consumer-focused content from GDC. However, you can be sure that we're going to cover it. I may make another video about that. I probably won't be able to do that today, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, but sometime in the near future, I will post some information about the things that Google is going to be showing off at the at GDC, which is the Game Developers Conference. It's a very, very developer-focused conference. Game Developers Conference, it's right in the title. So don't expect a lot of consumer-focused stuff, but for you people who are coming to StadiaCast, you people who are coming to hear me talk about stuff, you're probably into this a little more than the average consumer. Anyway, if you haven't already, click that like button if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you get notified every time I put out a new video like this. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.